everybody, welcome to another book/movie review. It's going to be a comparison, and it's going to be on Rebecca. Alright, so let's get started. I've seen the movie first before I even listened to the book, and when I first seen the movie, I didn't like it. But after watching it again recently, I actually ended up liking it, and found it quite interesting. And then I borrowed the book, or the audiobook, and I found out how close the movie was to the book. The movie that I'm referring to is the 1940 adaptation, which was directed by Alfred Hitchcock and starred Laurence Olivier as Maxim and Joan Fontaine as the nameless heroine of our story, or this story of Rebecca. Okay, what else can I talk about this? I thought that the book was really interesting, but I did prefer the movie a little better. While reading the book, I realized how similar this story was comparing to Jane Eyre, which Joan Fontaine would also star in 1943. And the adaptation of the Rebecca, which the one with Joan Fontaine, was in 1940, so that's really interesting. I thought everybody that was casted in the 1940 version did a perfect job doing the characters from the book Rebecca. Joan Fontaine did a perfect job as the nameless heroine. Laurence Olivier was also pretty good as the tempered Maxim, but at the same time he did do some nice scenes with Joan and some sweet scenes. I love the Cocker Spaniel, so he's cute. I thought that George Sanders was really interesting. I'd seen him in All About Eve, which he didn't really do a bad guy, surprisingly. And of course the voice of Shere Khan, which was a Disney movie I'd grown up with, the Jungle Book, the 1960s version or whatever. So it was interesting to see George Sanders, because considering I like to listen to the sound of his voice, but he was very attractive for a guy back then, so he's really quite interesting. The one person I can't stand, both in the book and the movie, was Mrs. Danvers. She's just such a weird woman, and creepy and freaky, and I just can't stand her character. The problems I had with the book was some of the characters would swear and take the Lord's name in vain, and the ending was just stupid to the book. I liked the ending to the movie a little better, which was similar, but I liked it better. The one thing I don't know about the ending of the movie was Mrs. Danvers sets fire to Manderley, the house that they ironically live in, which, funnily enough, that's what happens in Jane Eyre. There's a fire at Thornfield. But anyway, so Mrs. Danvers is in the West Wing, which is the room of Rebecca, the late Mrs. De Winter. And I can never understand, did she mean to kill herself while setting fire to the house? Or did she just get stuck and ended up dying in Rebecca's room? I have no idea. It's funny that the book is called Rebecca, but technically it's about a character who's dead. The heroine has to face her husband's his deceased first wife, who we find out, I mean, everyone says how beautiful she is and everything, but she really was not a good character. She was quite despicable and mean, and all around just a very nasty character. So the character of Rebecca is not a very good character, and you really do root for the heroine of this story. I don't know what else to talk about this. There are even though it's stuck really close to the book, there are some twists. Like, for example, in the book, Maxim did kill Rebecca, whereas in the movie they make it look like an accident. As far as I'm concerned, in the movie, after Mrs. Danvers shows the heroine of our story Rebecca's room, afterwards she takes out Rebecca's stuff in the morning room, and she tells Mrs. Danvers to get rid of the stuff. And she's like, well, this is Mrs. De Winter's things. And she goes, I am Mrs. De Winter now. And I don't think that was in the book, but I did enjoy that scene. The character of Ben also was really sad, because the poor guy was threatened with the asylum from Rebecca, So I think that made him insane. But you really feel sorry for him too. At least I did. So the book is pretty interesting. If you're in a mood to read it, go ahead. It's not a bad read. Or even listen. If you don't want to read it but listen to the audiobook, go ahead and do that too. If you have read the book and you want to see an adaptation, go see the 1940 version. That version is very good, very close to the story with some twists, but they're not bad at all. And like I said, the actors, I think, did a wonderful job portraying the characters in the book. And I think that's about it, because I don't want to give too much away. But if you want to know more about this, write down in the comments below if you need anything for answers, from me anyway. So like I said, I hope you've enjoyed this book and movie comparison, and I hope you guys have a great, wonderful day. Bye!